But yeah, here we go. ACCM versus Salami. ACCM even advertising himself in game. He has actually known for this. I think a lot of people use his AoE builds, if I'm not mistaken. So as we were talking about before, for those that are unaware, ACCM is like the tippity top Vietnam AoE 2 Pro, right? I don't think there's anyone who's earned more from AoE 2, if I'm not mistaken. 28,000, which is actually, like, it doesn't sound like much, right? You're like, oh, 28,000 is not much. But actually in the Age of Empires sphere, that's a sizable amount, right? Consider we've seen a lot of StarCraft pros playing this game that haven't even earned that much. And StarCraft definitely has a lot more money in it and has had a lot more money in it over the years and has had many years of having that money. But let's talk about the game because we're going to have England versus Delhi, right? So ACCM, as you said, definitely a very talented AoE 2 player. Definitely some capability here in AoE 4. In fact, he has been floating around the 100-200 range for the most, and then dipping up and dipping his toes into the top 100. Currently sitting at 90th on the ELO leaderboards with 1666. So basically trying to summon the devil here with his 90th place on the leaderboards. Meanwhile, Saslami, I think we've maybe featured him once on the stream. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he made it to the YouTube side of things, but very talented player, very hard on the grind. I think he's currently sitting around 69th. Sorry, 69th. He's hitting the gold number again. In fact, I could have sworn we had him here before. But the impressive part is he's got a 69th that is very stable. This lad has 720 games played. With a 53% win rate, 1,698 elo, he is a competitive player. Like, he is actually keeping competitive with the numbers. I think he even streams, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll definitely confirm that. And if it's the case, remember, every time that I do these videos, I do put the links to the players involved, if they stream, in the info. At least if they're active. I don't put it there if they haven't streamed in 2 months because you will never even see the gameplay. But most of the time, these players are fairly active. And he's going to be playing on Delhi against England. England, a rush-type Civ, one that can potentially rush in this matchup especially. But Delhi, one thing they could have going for them is that this is going to be a choke point-based map, right? You can see there's only one passing through over here. So this type of map can favor Delhi. I still think Delhi is much better off on water hybrid maps. But their second preference is choke point-based maps because they can, of course, quickly get a barracks down if need be, 1 or 2 spearmen, and then they can palisade wall up the entrance and hold their opponent back. And keep in mind that most of the time with these generations, the majority of the relics, as we can see here, are around this central pass point, right? So if you come out here quickly and palisade wall this in, you could very quickly, immediately as soon as you hit Castle Age, because remember, you always have Scholar's Courtesy if you need them for research, go and pick up 4 relics, bank them, and then have a huge chunk of cheddar just being slid into your back wallet. So opening-wise, ACCM already getting up into that Council Hall. ACCM, by the way, we did say his ranking, for reference on how many games he's played, is 294, but I think he has a secondary account. It's a balance for him because I believe ACCM still plays and streams a lot of Age of Empires 2 in comparison. So he's not all in on one game, whereas Salami, like we said, has been hardcore going at it with AoE 4. In fact, for reference, just to confirm for you, yeah, dude, he actually has been streaming non-stop, right? Like every day, basically. So go check him out if you enjoy Delhi gameplay, because it seems like he is hardcore spamming the Delhi. And I think one cool thing that to think about actually is we have something else in common. Not only that we both like engaging with Age of Empires 4 and are just nerding out on it 24/7 right now, we both actually were nerding out on Apex Legends before that. So that's kind of cool to think about. Yeah. Booming up, Dome of Faith going down quicker than the Council Hall by the looks of it, right? I believe Salami, yeah, he put 5 people in this. Remember, the important thing for England is they can't put too many people in the Council Hall construction. They tend to get it quite rapido, but then they need to have an influx into wood in prep for the very expensive longbow production because you produce them so quickly and they actually cost so little that it's actually very hard to maintain a constant treacle otherwise. Now, the problem in this situation is you're going to be very predictable, right? Although the scout is lost, Salami gets the important information. He understands that he's up against the England player. He sees that the rush towards Council Hall has occurred. I don't know if he saw... No. Oh, he he didn't see the gold line. So if you saw the gold line, this is the biggest thumbs up you're looking for. You want to spot the gold line and the stone line. And because he doesn't, it means that Salami is playing blind against ACCM's play. ACCM's play being this. He's actually going onto the stone already, which shows an intent to TC boom, which I love to see out of England players. I think the longbow rush is one-dimensional and been figured out. And especially against this opponent, as we can see, it's not going to work because Salami moves straight out and drops the stone walls at the passes. A little bit defensive. You could have brought them further out to make sure he got the relic, but this will still work out. And cool play. It does mean that he's wasting villagers' time, so I would love to see like Delhi TC booming. Something we don't really see. Okay, so chat just confirmed for me, apparently SC is digraph, so it's Shalami. Shalami? Is that right? Apologies if I've been pronouncing it wrong, Shalami. Apologies if I'm now pronouncing it wrong, Shalami. If I say it 3 times, does he appear in the mirror? Shalami? Good thing I don't have a mirror to find out. Because this monster would probably murder me in Age of Empires 4 and Apex. Salami? I'm tempted to call him Salami. We'll just have to see if he is just a lump of meat waiting to be sliced up by ACCM, though. ACCM gets his scouts out, went double scout, not able to get the vision in on his opponent's side. Never snuck one in early, which is a bit of a fatal error in my opinion. Usually when you go double scout, the first one should be moving across to your opponent's side of the map, so you have the vision game, right? But on a land-only map, you feel that pressure to gather the sheep, and that's exactly what he done. I mean, ACCM, how many did he get in the end? Decent chunk. Yeah, 10. End up with 10. Meanwhile, only 7 for Shalami, and remember Shalami, he doesn't have another scout, and he's not going to move across to his opponent's side of the map anymore. In terms of sheep, I think he found all of them on his side of the map as well, so not really missing out anything there. And he's just going to play a blind game as he techs up. So then, if you're ACCM, you have to kind of sit there, stroke your chin, and go, what would my opponent build, right? It's a Delhi player. He's going to wait behind his stone walls until Castle Age. I'm probably dealing with a man-at-arms spam. Home Blades will take ages to get there, so unless Shalami wants to wait until 40 minutes, that's not going to be a concern. But the man-at-arms can be courtesy of the Force Marcher land with gap close. So if I'm in England playing this situation, longbows are not going to cut it. Man-at-arms can match up, but later on will get countered by the home blades. Knights would be a solid play. And if you plan on going for multiple TCs, which he's now dropping his second TC, then you will be able to support Knights. And there's definitely enough gold on your side of the map, right? Like, if you actually look at how many gold veins are available in this area to ACCM, he could easily field a superior army of Knights. And once again, yes, the home blades can make the Lancers better, but Salami needs to reach that point in the game. It's okay, guys. After this stream, I'll go watch one of his and I'll learn how to pronounce his name. I just have to hope that Shalami is one of those people that sits there and says his own name out loud. Like, Shalami has wrecked this opponent. Shalami is happy with this opening. Shalami is get gold real good right now. God. I still can't believe people like that really exist in the world. Every time someone tells me that's a real thing, I just say no, that's just something that the movies make up. A person that refers to themselves in that tense. Salami might be good on pizza, but I don't know about berries, chat. I don't think berries are good on pizza, but they are very good in the deposits of the Delhi player. So second TC coming out. We want to see the TC expansion. We're going to see it. I've got to be careful. I'm starting to interact with Twitch chat in the middle of a cast. That's taboo. But yes, we are going to see the second TC. He is trying to match his opponent. This is something we wanted to see coming out of him. You're playing on a walled-off map. You're thinking about eco and tech booming. So you should be playing with this, right? There's no way for you to get in. If anything, ACCM should be a bit more paranoid because he hasn't walled up himself, right? And that's why he's still fielding a small military force here. I don't expect ACCM to look for a ram rush through. He has built the blacksmiths, and he is going to do it, though. Siege engineering. Okay. So the read for ACCM in this situation is his opponent has walled himself in. No duh, Pigeon. What does that mean? Well, in that situation, he expects his opponent to have 0 military presence. Because if he did have some military presence, it probably would have been palisades so that he can just get his force in position to counter out what the England player is going to do. So this choice to now go into siege engineering and get the bang ram is good. The bad side for it is the fact that Shalami did put down the outpost, right? So he's going to get heads up, and he will have time as a result to pivot into a military force and counteract this. but he's going to have to heavily invest. And remember, it's going to be slow to open up with, courtesy of how capped on wood he is and how much attention is elsewhere compared to the wood, even more so when it's on half speed. And more important than that, it's the fact that you need to then build up that infrastructure, right? It's not just about getting enough wood for 1 racks. You need 3 racks, maybe, to quickly get a force out. Otherwise, you're very slowly churning out man-at-arms, or in this case, it would be spearmen. But I think Shalami's goal here is to have his tech up ready before his opponent breaches, which he's close to being ready now. And of course, Sanctity now, having been researched, he'll be able to go and cap this sacred site. Wolf might kill his scholar, but as long as he just micros him around like this, he'll at least get the cap off before he dies. And that'll give an extra 200 gold per minute, remember? So that's effectively saving you 5 workers. The other thing to consider is that when you're this eco-greedy and you're buying this much time and aiming for a 25, 30-minute or later timing, one big benefit for Shalami in this situation is all these researchers are free, right? So it's going to be able to actually get all this tech for free. It's even more efficient gatherings, right? It's even a quicker tech uptime because of that. Because ACCM continue to invest in this army. Even if he'd chosen to just stay back and scale, he would have to invest more to compete, right? And that's why it's very important when you play against Delhi players that you apply pressure early. Because otherwise, you're playing into a late game situation where they've saved so many resources so far. And if you ever end up finding yourself at 45 minutes before you make an attack, which doesn't happen at the highest level, of course, and you're talking Imperial Age, then you're talking about a situation where, although it takes a while to research, a Delhi player is saving themselves 700 gold on a lot of those researches. That's a huge amount of effective resource available to you to build an army with. And second wall going down. So, nice play. I like this from Shalami. He sees that his opponent is trying to batter ram through, but it's not fast, right? Batter rams aren't quick to breach here. As you can see, it's 200 damage per smash. And, well, their attack speed is every 5 seconds. So this will give him enough time to build a secondary wall. Maybe he could trip wall if he wants to. I doubt he's going to need a trip wall, though. He should be able to start just building military infrastructure now. But Compound of the Defenders makes this very efficient, because remember, you not only build quicker, but you build cheaper. Well, sorry, not quicker, but you build cheaper. That's the most important thing, right? The reduced cost. So it's 25% cheaper, so you can see the stone walls costing 11 each. And because he has got that second TC, he can afford to send out these extra villagers to do so as well. And Castle Age not in sight for ACCM. ACCM really just fully invested at this stage. You can see he even drops the 4 racks. He needs to break through and he needs to attack his opponent. I just got confirmation that someone gave me bad information. It's not Shalami, I knew it. Okay, so I'm going to stick with Salami. Turns out I was right all along, or Salami. Okay, Salami. Got it. Thanks, Twitch chat. YouTube's going to tell me I got baited again. In before it's pronounced Cesar Alami. There you go. And I'm wrong. So I'm just going to call him Salami. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm done with this teeter-tottering. I am not a monkey for your amusement. Stop making me dance. Well, Salami definitely making ACCM dance here. Keep's about to be complete. ACCM does not know about this. Oh, wait, no, he does. He just about sees it at the edge. And that's why he moves across this side. He doesn't want to get sniped out as he's taking out down the walls. And he's going to have enough room to move around because, look, Salami, this key placement isn't terrible, but it could have been better, right? It could have been better optimized. So you can at least cut off a lot of these longbowmen as they move through. But it might delay your opponent long enough to build infrastructure. The problem is you have a TC over here, and you're going to have exposed lines, potentially. So Salami definitely needs to be quick with amassing the man-arms. Plenty of them being built so far. And remember, ACCM, because it's the only one here, and because it's a slow push, he has been building the outposts. And this will be a big deal, because it means with the attack speed buff, even though you have a lot of arm on these man-at-arms, with enough longbowmen, it is genuinely just not going to matter. There we go. Walls get breached. ACCM waddling in. That's what a wonderful neighborhood. Be a shame if someone was to shoot the whole place up with drive-bys of arrows. Losing one villager in a wonky fashion. And ACCM looks to back up. Has got the attack speed buff. He's getting slowed down by his own battering rams, though. Trying to back them up in time. Spearmen need to move forward quicker than this. Man-at-arms, while they do gap close, they are not very fast to stay on top of their targets. And now, although it may take a while, they should be able to get through this many man-at-arms. I think maybe Salami jumped the gun a bit, but it does allow him to rebuild, remember. This is one of the things about Compound the Defender. The man-at-arms, he walls in his own friends. He says, good job, lads. You're not coming back. This is your tomb. And this is another cool thing that he's doing right now, right? Like, he's actually looking to just build up the defenses courtesy of the military units. Because although you can build walls, something that I think a lot of players forget is that these military units can actually also build the wall towers. Sadly, it's too late of an endeavor. And he won't be able to do it, though. So we have to cancel that out and back up. And once again, with 1-2 battering rams still standing rather, he'll be able to just start knocking down the walls once again. And then you have to question what the solution is for Salami. Because Man-at-Arms, it's a good start, but he needs composition, right? I do think you could go for probably like some Horsemen would be bad if your opponent's only... I know he's bringing out Spearmen, but your Man-at-Arms still the Spearmen right now. Alternatively, you just go for some Archers of your own. Gives you that chase, right? Because remember, normally Archers, they have less range than Longbowmen, move quicker, and you can kind of stick on top of him and double the losses. Because the problem with the Man-at-Arms is they have to get in range, and they swing once, and then by the time they're done swinging once, their opponent's out of range, and they have to gap close against this Longbowman that has the same movement speed as them. And ACCM, in the meantime, is going for that tech up now, so King's Palace being dropped. Was only 2 TCs so far. This could be his third one. He's going to outscale Salami at this rate, and he's keeping the pressure on, right? So Salami genuinely needs a solution soon. And he's not going to be taking up. He has to full into military now. And is currently Popcat. Oh, no. Please tell me he's fixing that right now. Okay, yeah, just in time. Looked like he was going to be stunted slightly. For good measures, ACCM this time will take down additional walls. He's going to be blocked out like that again. But it kind of shows you the power compound of the defender, right? I love that we're finally getting to see this. Homeblades was just too busted. And while what's happened to Homeblades now is a travesty, 15 minutes to research, by the way. At least that bug being in place is meaning that people are experimenting with this, whereas before they would have completely ignored it, right? So we're at least getting to see if this is a viable strategy, and we're seeing the ways in which people utilize them. Usually around these sacred sites more so than anything. But sacred sites not really coming to the equation so far, right? Because on this map, they're in opposite corners, so you have to actually be in your opponent's side of the map to actually even reach them. So Salami, there's the switch up. Does get the archery ranges. Not normal archers, though. It is going to be into the Tower Wall Elephants. Tower Wall Elephants incredibly effective if they can get close enough to Longbowmen, but they are incredibly slow, right? And the Longbowmen do outrange you by an additional 2 tiles. And this is where it could backfire. So shots in. Should be able to kite back. Needs to be careful. He's actually holding his own here. He's holding his ground, which can be a mistake as the Man-at-Arms are starting to gap close. It means the War Elephants get in range as well. And they will start to siege down the battering rams first. And turn around for the main force. Spearman engaging already. Early Man-at-Arms as well. They never got upgraded. ACCM. Because he was so late in the cast stage, he hasn't got the researchers yet, right? He hasn't tanked up with the armor clad, and he hasn't tanked up with the upgrade into the vet Man-at-Arms, or normal Man-at-Arms rather. And that's going to cause him a bit of pain. He finally gets it, but it's when the fight's over, right? This is a big deal. Salami. Possibly the most dangerous Salami I've ever seen. Unless ACCM actually has an allergy against that type of meat. In which case this makes sense. Because right now, he is just dying to it. Man-at-Arms chasing in. ACCM in full retreat. The forward base will fall. There's no way he'll be able to keep this up. And in fact, it's pointless to push out new units. Any new units are going to be fried straight away by the archers on the back of these elephants. And the Mangonel moving in as well. Even more problems right now. ACCM, there's only so far he can retreat. He's also in trouble with his placement on the King's Palace. It's very far forward, right? So that's one of your effective TCs that's going to be vulnerable in the next minute. And although he has expanded well into the back here, he doesn't have a military force, an ample military force to defend himself. And that's why he sends so many villagers across to build up the keep. And I like his placement. His placement is very good, folks. He's willing to sacrifice his forward TC, right, his landmark here in the King's Palace, to get that keep down. And what does Salami do? Salami drops more walls, ensuring that his opponent won't have options to move around, right? He's basically giving him footholds to play off the back of each time. And also the pain of this is ACCM, not only is it going to be troublesome to refield a new army, but you also have to rebuild this infrastructure. And because you're rebuilding this infrastructure, you don't have that surplus resource in terms of wood all the time to produce non-stop spears and longbowmen, which is what you really need right now. I say it's what you need, but actually, funnily enough, what you might need is crossbowmen in this game. Like, you're up against elephants and you're up against man-at-arms. Crossbowmen genuinely solve all your problems. But we never see it, right? We never see English players engaging with crossbows, despite the fact that this is probably one of the best examples of a crossbow game I've ever seen. or rather, best examples of a game where crossbow is the optimal play. And it reminds me of France before, right? France, their opening was always stables, cavalry units into archers. And that was your composition. You were predictable in that regard. It never felt good if you got forced to go for racks as well. But now I think ACCM is a situation where he 100% needs to build archery ranges and get crossbowmen out. Because these racks are not going to cut it. Now, Salami, I mean, he's just showing you how to aggressively use the Castle Age landmark, the compound of the defender, with the man-at-arms spam, allowing him to slam down all these Stonewall towers right in ACCM's base. Such an impressive play. And what do you expect out of a top 100 Delhi spammer, right? This is exactly what we were looking for. And the Keep, not really able to contest this, right? The Keep having the 8 tower range, the tower's 9, so they're just outside the range of this Keep. And if you ever try to get close with the battering rams, there's going to be man-at-arms all around you. I say that. They're actually on the side right now. They're raiding into the economy, and they're also sticking down more of these towers. And these ones cover the farmlands. So the Ford economy is going to have to fall back behind the base at this rate for ACCM. And you can see the villages starting to be sniped out. And when you lose the man-at-arms, it just buys that important amount of time to get the Stonewall towers down, right? And now pushing with the Raiders, hitting into the military infrastructure. More troops incoming. Tower Elephants now moving into the base. And is there any Fort base yet? No, but there are counterweight trebuchets incoming. Trebuchets that will sit behind the walls and slowly see through the base. I absolutely love the way Salami played this. ACCM just completely shows his hand with this early longbow investment. This rush in with the Rams. He isn't about that quick Castle Age timing. He isn't trying to match what the Delhi player is doing and going late. And Salami reacts perfectly. Ensures that because he's going compound defender, it's being used aggressively, not defensively. And that's what we're seeing here, right? This is how you use that landmark to great effect. The whole concept of House of Learning and Home Blades is cool, right? But 15 minutes is a very long time to wait for a turnabout point in the game. Whereas compound of the defender, you can actually have the value out of that in the first minute of reaching Castle Age. And beyond, which is what we've seen out of Salami. And now, just all these upgrade defenses. Because that's the other thing, remember. It's not just that you can build these with the military units, right? It's the fact that it's all cheaper, right? So those emplacements, the Spearman placements, all of it is 25% cheaper. So Stone Economy is just so much more effectively used by Salami in this game. And you now see he's moving in for the Ford Keep Drop. A Keep Drop that is well protected because of the range on these Stonewall towers. And there you go. Keep trying to attack. Villager line, just so many here. I don't think you're going to deny this keep. And I think once this keep goes down, ACCM is fried. There's no way we'll get back into this game at that stage. Just too much of his economy is being shut out on the front. And too much of his military is ineffective here. And there it is. Keep gets complete. Puts down a second one as well. Essentially just boxing ACCM into a corner. And although there is a famous movie where nobody puts baby in the corner, and while ACCM might be crying like a baby at the end of this one, there is no doubt that he is going in that goddamn corner. And the keep falls. And ACCM hasn't tapped out, but I have to wonder why. Look at this, guys. His military infrastructure is all in the front, right? So he's losing all of that. He's losing the ability to generate new units. And overall, just constantly losing the game. And I mean, you're 22 minutes in the game. I know they tried to make battering rams better in the mid-late game by giving them less pop cap cost. But, dog, I don't know about this one. I don't think they're going to be very effective here. Yeah, this one's done, though. Really well played. Another keep going down. Salami proving why it's not just China that can aggressively wall and keep drop you, right? I actually think this is more effective than what China does. And I love how this is enabled by the fact he went for a secondary TC. This is not, like, this is a very risky endeavor to attempt with the keep drops if you have one TC, even with this sort of foothold in your enemy space. Because he has 2 TCs, he has disposable economy, right? In terms of villages. And also stone. And that stone, as well as that villager count, enables this sort of forward keep as well as tower drop that gives him full control of the game and shuts his opponent out. So well played by Salami. Love to see it. Exactly what I would expect out of a dominant top 100 Delhi spam. You know what, folks? I think we found a new addition to the channel. This guy's probably going to actually feature more on the channel. And if you enjoy what you're seeing on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. And make sure if you want even more games, ones that don't even make it across to you here on the YouTube channel, you head across to the Twitch, where we're probably streaming right now, or will be very soon. And you don't want to miss out on the action, because there's plenty of games that don't even make the cut. But if you want to see more of the games that made the cut right now, just check on your... See, I even pointed the right eye. Check over there right now. They're going to be up there. And this is definitely confusing for the people watching in the Twitch chat right now. But look, there's videos. Why are you still here? Click the videos now. Don't make me send salami.